Okay, good morning, everybody. And first and foremost, thank you for attending today's webinar hosted by Digital ID and CardExchange Solutions. Just to run through some of the basics before we begin today's event, microphones will remain muted throughout the duration of the event. And at the end of the webinar, we will open up the Q&A section. So if you do have a question from any part of the slides or any part of the webinar that you'd like answering, again, best thing to do is to pop your question into the Q&A at the end. And what we're going to do is we're going to then bring all of those questions offline. We're going to get them answered. And again, we'll deliver them back to you with a full follow-up. So we've got a great solution, obviously, to show you today. We're really excited to share this. And again, it's something, obviously, that we've been working on for a while. And I know our education team are very keen to share this solution and opportunity with you today. Again, just to reiterate in terms of the follow-up. So everybody who attends the webinar today will receive a follow-up from their account manager. You'll receive a copy of today's webinar, the video, a PDF, and again, a full list of the FAQs. Now, if you would like a more advanced demonstration after today's event, that is something that can be arranged, again, with your account manager directly, who would be more than happy to help. So let's begin. My name is Adam Bennett. I'm the Digital Marketing Manager here at Digital ID, and I'm also going to be hosting today's event. Now, at the same time, I'm joined by my colleague, Glenn, who should just be on the call. And we're also joined by Elliot Davis from CardExchange Solutions. Good morning to you both.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Great stuff. So both are here, obviously, on the event today. It's going to be a little bit of a mixed sharing between them both. But like we said, obviously, something great to look forward to, a really good solution. And again, we'll hope you see the benefits. So just before we begin and I hand over to Glenn, just going to recap on what you will actually learn from today's event and the reason that we've set this up. So first and foremost, we want to make you aware of a cloud-based cards management system. Second benefit is, again, the benefits of a contact-free enrolment setup for staff. So people like yourselves and your day-to-day job role. And then we're also going to compare the on-site enrolment versus a contactless solution. Like I said, feel free to use the chat, but we will have a dedicated Q&A section at the end of today's event. So, going to hand you over to Glenn, who's just going to start with a short intro. Over to you, Glenn.
Thank you, Adam. Good morning, everybody, again. Obviously, the question why. I think we can see that enrolment processes are definitely changing. Access control and identification credentials have been evolving over time, which in knock-on effect is providing easier, more user-friendly solutions, hopefully making life easier for staff and students on site. So the number of people now are choosing new solutions. This has increased dramatically over the last 12 months. Obviously, there's things that we know that have caused this and prompted people to look at different solutions elsewhere. Organisations are putting into place new procedures and they want to ensure that COVID-19 and social distancing guidelines are obviously met and they're all adhered to as well, obviously in a time when it's safety and things are very paramount. So it leads the question, what's the best solution for creating credentials en masse for all universities and colleges and other higher education establishments? So to answer your questions, I'd like to hand over to my partner, Elliot from CardExchange, who's going to sort of talk through the new CardExchange cloud software. Thank you.
Superb. Thanks, Glenn. Good morning, everyone. So, yeah, I'm Elliot Davis from CardExchange Solutions and can take you through the CardExchange Cloud Suite and introduce you to our card management solution, some of the functionality benefits and how it works. As we all know, the world has become very much a changing place in terms of how we do business, in terms of how people learn and how we work on a day-to-day basis. And one of the challenges everybody faces now is how do we do things in a more secure manner when social distancing guidelines are enforced that we have to all adhere by, and as we all need to do so. At the same time, I think it gives everybody an opportunity to relook at products and how you do things, how you operate on a day-to-day basis, the processes that you use. So looking at how you can streamline what you do in terms of enrolment and issuance of ID cards, and how you manage that overall student experience for enrolling. So the CardExchange Cloud Suite has been designed to enable you to streamline those processes, to simplify them, remove the amount of work on yourselves as an organization, and also better improve the experience for the student. It's a cloud-based card management solution, and the cloud element is the core of what we do. Now, it is a fully SaaS solution hosted on the Microsoft Azure platform in a UK data center. So all data is securely stored in the UK in a fully GDPR compliant environment. And the system fully complies with accessibility guidelines, so WCAG, so ensuring that your staff, yourselves, and also all your students have access to the system in a very accessible way, regardless of their abilities. Rather than having just a card production system, which requires a lot of additional work in other areas of the business, other processes, other steps to go through to gather data, to check data before you can actually produce cards, and then the follow-on process for how do you then actually issue those cards, how do you deliver them to the students, how do you update connected systems, and how do you manage the life cycle of that card. All of those functions come together within the card management solution. So it allows you to have one core system which manages the end-to-end life cycle management of the card, from defining how does the data come into the system, when, for what people, how do we engage with the student, what information do we need them to upload, to capture, to verify, what's then the process for approving photographs, for approving cards, how do you manage the production, and then after you've printed the card, how do you deliver the card to the student? You don't have students now really as easily in front of you. So how do you do that in a safe and secure way? Deliver the cards and then activate the cards, manage the entire life cycle and what happens with them and how the student uses that card. So it's that complete solution, that complete infrastructure for managing the cards. And what I'll do in the next couple of slides is talk about some of the benefits to yourselves as an organization, as staff, and also what using a card management system means to the student themselves. Before we do so, let's talk about one or two of the key features and elements of the system. Now, as I say, and what we're focusing on partially today, and also what is obviously the hot topic at the moment, is that contact-free environment that we all work in. So the solution is ideal for contact-free enrollment. It means that you can deploy the system remotely without a lot of engagement from your staff actually together collaborating. You'll collaborate online in the cloud to actually deploy, configure and set up the system, but also for the students. Everybody doesn't have to come together to take photographs, to issue cards, print them and activate them. It all happens remotely. It requires less resources for yourselves, as I say, from the very setup of the system, from the deployment of the system, the configuration, the day-to-day management. How do you run it? How do you print cards? How do you issue them? How do you gather data? All of that happens in the cloud from anywhere on any device. So it really cuts down on the resources you need. Also, the massive business rules within the system allow you to automate and simplify processes. So rather than having lots of manual steps in your issuance and enrollment process, it all happens automatically. The system uses both iOS and Android apps for the card holders, for the students to manage their cards, giving them a very user-friendly, simple experience. Everybody's used to using apps these days, so it's very quick and easy for them to upload their photo, upload their details, verify everything, and request their card. As I mentioned, compliance, GDPR compliant. That's not only in terms of how we store your data. As I say, it sits within the Microsoft Azure platform in a UK data center, meeting all of their GDPR security functionality that they have, but also the features the system offers to you as a scheme operator to define that it meets your GDPR compliance rules and that you're managing your student and cardholder data in a secure manner. and also WCAG compliance for accessibility for your staff using the system, for the students accessing the system. It complies fully with WCAG, so for accessibility, everything is wrapped up there, so it's all clear and easy for people to use. And cost-wise, see later on, for those who are interested, the digital ID team can provide actual costings based on your requirements, but it's a scalable system. So you scale the system and pay simply monthly or annually based on your usage, based on the number of records. So the system grows with you. So as you have more people, you can just increase the capacity. So you're never paying for more than you need. And likewise, if you need to scale it back, you can, and just add and remove modules. So you only pay for the products you need and the number of records you have. So it really simplifies your cost management. And because it's a SaaS solution, you pay monthly or annually, so it spreads that cost. You don't have large capital expenditure to actually pay out up front. Adam, if you could do the next slide, please. Okay, thanks. So let's take a look at some of the benefits for enrolment staff to start with. Card enrolment, I'm sure a number of you will agree, can always be a challenge. Particularly we have this period in the summer when we have to gather everybody together, get all of the data into the system, get everybody's details in, capture photos, print cards, and very often that involves a lot of things in terms of bringing out the enrolment PCs, checking them over, making sure they're updated, getting all your printers checked over, making sure all the staff are trained, all of the infrastructure's in place for that enrolment process. With the CardExchange Cloud Suite, you do everything, you manage everything, all of the data, all of the credentials, anywhere in the cloud, anytime. So all of those tasks, from importing data, deciding whose data comes in, how, when, where, it all comes in automatically based on a business rule, and you can do that from anywhere. Through to inviting students, sending them an email, inviting them to upload their photos, their ID documents, verify their details. Again, it happens automatically, remotely, without any need for user intervention. And then all the way through that process, approving photographs, sending cards for production, issuing cards, activating, blocking cards, everything happens in the cloud, either from the main system, from yourselves as system operators, or by the student for the functions they are allowed to carry out via the app or via a web portal. And it's all fully automated. The core of the system is about automating processes and simplifying processes. So everything happens based on business rules as much as possible to enable you to streamline and simplify what you do. From an enrollment point of view, this kind of system removes the need for queues. You don't have to bring every student in, sit them down, take their photograph, check and enter their details, verify identity documents. All of that information can be received remotely via the app, ensuring you and your students have a much more secure and safe enrollment experience, because you're not having to bring everybody together in large groups and manage social distancing and other things in order to gather that data. It requires less staff and system resources, as I mentioned, from the initial deployment, configuration and setup, all of which can be done collaboratively online in the cloud, through to setting up the system, defining what the processes are, how it works, the bringing in data, the enrolling, the inviting students, the production control, the approvals, the issuance, everything happens in the cloud remotely. So it allows you as a team more time to focus on other things that you need to be doing, rather than dedicating your time to detailed card production and enrollment processes. Notifications. Information is massively important to all of us and to tell us what we've got to do and when. And again, automated within the system, you can be notified as staff members of what you need to do in the system and when. The system can automatically generate emails and SMSs to tell you you've got new photos to approve, you've got cards ready to approve. Today, 10 students reported their cards as lost or stolen. People who've got cards which are going to expire in the next month. All of these notifications can come one by one or as summaries to yourselves, so you're informed of what you need to know and the things you need to do when you need to do them. In terms of production, you have options. This solution can be used with existing printers for on-site production. So rather than using a traditional ID software and just print into your local printers, you can manage the data in the cloud, push the data down and print the cards locally, automatically. But alternatively, as part of that that necessity and drive we now find ourselves all facing to have less contact, you can integrate this system directly with Digital ID's Bureau. Everything is exactly the same. You enroll students, you approve photographs, you approve cards to production. But when they're ready to print, rather than coming to you, to your own printers, to your own staff to do that and manage it, they push directly to the Digital ID Bureau. Digital ID receive a notification, tells them they have cards to print. They print those cards, they do the fulfillment, either returning them to you in bulk or individually to the students by post. And automatically the system will generate notifications, send the student a text message and tell them their card's been printed, it's in the post, or send you an email telling you Digital ID have printed 40 cards today. So all of that information, all of that production happens remotely for you. Automatically connects updates and connects to connected systems. So this is really key. With card management, what you want to do is to be able to automatically tell all of your connected systems what happens with a card. So when you print a card, it notifies your access control, your time and attendance, your print and copy that a new card has been printed and is active. More importantly, if the student loses that card and they report it as lost, it will automatically tell all of those connected systems that the card has been blocked. So it disables it, so it can't be used by somebody who should find it. So rather than having to manually update lots and lots of connected systems, the card management acts as a central hub and does it all for you. Adam, if you could do the next slide, please. So benefits for the students. Say it's about security and safety really for them. Using an iOS and an Android app or a web portal that we have, they can upload all of their details and verify their details from the safety and security of their home. They use the app, they can upload their photograph, they can upload ID documents for verification, passport, driver's license, check all of their personal details. The system will automatically crop their photo, make sure it meets your photo standards, and then submit it to yourselves for approval. They get notifications via the app or by SMS and email. As I said, you need to take a photograph, your card's been printed and it's in the post to you. The app is fully brandable, so it helps to bring your branding to the student. Color schemes, logos, all of those things can be customized, so they have a card, so they have an app that also doubles as a virtual ID card. So they have that there as a backup. The app there, it shows the card what it looks like, and it's all part of your branding. They can manage their cards remotely. As I mentioned, they lose their card on a Sunday evening, they can just jump onto the app, mark their card as lost. It will automatically block it in the system and in all of the connected systems, so they have peace of mind and security knowing that their card that maybe has an access value or a monetary value, if it's a cashless catering card, can't be used by anyone else. So it also allows them to order new cards and activate their cards when they receive it. So that all happens via the apps or the self-service portal. Adam, next slide, please. Okay, so we've talked a bit here about card management and what you can do with the CardExchange Cloud card management system. Now, say just as a comparison, I think it's worth just re-looking here at how this compares to a traditional ID software. ID production software is at the core of our business at CardExchange. We've been doing it for over 15 years, so we understand the importance of it. But it is just one part of the system, and it's one part of your process, and it's one part of card management. With card printing software, as you're all probably familiar, you can design your cards, you can connect to a database, you can take photos, you can capture signatures, you can print cards, and you can encode cards. You can push data back to a connected database, but all of those other functions then have to happen remotely, manually, in another system or via a number of other processes. With card management, it all happens automatically in one system at the hub of your business. So you manage the onboarding and enrollment process. We manage the ID verification, so uploading passports as driver's licenses. We manage the photo capture and approval processes, the card production, the issuance approval, Data synchronization, pulling data in, pushing it out, all of that happens based on business rules. Integration with your third-party systems, your cashless, your print and copy, your access control. The card lifecycle tracking, understanding the entire lifecycle, start to finish of each individual card. Activity logging, who did what in the system, who updated the card status, who changed somebody's address or their name or something, that full login so you know who did what, when and where. History reporting for all activity of people, of cards, of systems, of users. Notifications, keeping yourselves as an organization informed and keeping your card holders, your students informed of what's happening. And the self-service card management element, removing the need for people to come into contact with each other at the moment, removing the need for large groups of people to come together for enrollment, allowing you to manage your card management securely and safely in the cloud. So Adam's just now going to switch to another slide, which is a short marketing video about the CardExchange cloud products, and then he'll take over from there. So just really say thank you for your time, and then we'll look forward to any questions. And as Adam said, more than happy anytime then to arrange a dedicated demonstration to explain how the system can further meet your needs. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much for that, Elliot. Great stuff. Yeah, as Elliot said, we're just going to switch now, obviously, to a short demonstration video. And then, like I said, the final slide after that, we'll be opening up the Q&A. So, yeah, we'll put the video on now and let you have a watch of that.
Imagine a revolutionary SaaS product with a single ecosystem for managing and using all your ID credentials and vertical applications. Imagine a first-of-its-kind payment plan that lets you use all of the features the system has to offer and only pay for what you use, leaving addition levels a thing of the past. Introducing CardExchange Cloud Suite, a suite of products bringing you a modernized approach to today's ID management and security demands. By using a proven secure technology platform, a system trusted by leading companies worldwide, and letting you focus on innovative applications instead of managing infrastructure. Starting with the controller, an ID management system to centralize, automate, and simplify your ID enrollment process, allowing you complete oversight of all your IDs, giving you the ability to define your own workflow and business rules. The Press is an ID design and production software that goes beyond traditional ID software on the market by using our secure workspace to create, manage, and print ID badges anywhere in the world. The Planner is an event management system that transforms the process of managing attendees. With customized process and procedures, it has the power and flexibility that global enterprises need and the scalability that event organizers love. The Guest is a visitor management system to help you customize the guest experience and strengthen security across multiple locations. Get in control by monitoring various types of traffic and preventing unwanted visitors. And finally, The Stand, a self-service portal application bringing it all together and gets you closer to your users with a highly personalized experience, allowing access to all CardExchange Cloud products in one portal, 24/7. CardExchange Cloud, a breakthrough platform as a service, scalable for any organization size, and reinventing how to use ID credential and security products across all industries, big and small. With CardExchange Cloud, we bring you a revolutionary way to let your ID lead the way.
Great stuff. Now, just before we move on to the final slide here, we're just going to set up a short poll, which you should be able to see on the screen. So, quick question there. If you could all just answer that as soon as possible, let us know what you think, and obviously then we can move on to the final slide. We'll just keep it open for a couple of seconds and then make sure we get all the votes in. It looks like we're done there now, so we're going to end that poll. Thank you again. And just to move on, obviously, to the final slide now. So if you are viewing the webinar on a desktop, you should be able to see the Q&A option. If you are on a mobile, it will be one of the small icons probably at the bottom of your screen. So if you do have a question, we encourage you to obviously ask it in the Q&A section. Now, we won't be answering them straight away. Like we said earlier on, we'll take them offline, liaise between the education team and Elliot, make sure obviously we collate all the answers and then feed them back to you via your account manager. So the Q&A section is now open. If you don't have a question, again, thank you for joining today. We will send you that follow-up. And again, once you've asked your question, you're free to leave the webinar. Thank you very much. We hope you enjoyed the experience and we look forward to speaking to you soon. Take care.